Hello everybody. Welcome back to the another Moronic History podcast episode.
Oh, do I talk?
Yes, usually I let you
Oh,
talk. Yes, usually.
well, listen,
We're rusty. We
I,
haven't done this in a while.
I, well, there goes
Okay,
my
so
controller.
this is kind of an emergency episode of the podcast. As you can see, I have nothing in front of me. I don't have slides in front of me because we are talking about what's been going on in Russia the last like 2 days. Um,
So, no info.
so usually we cover here like stuff that happened 30 years ago, but no, this happened 2 days ago. So we're kind of running with what we know now. So a lot of this stuff could be completely disproven in the next couple of days, but we're just going to keep going with what we know.
Yes.
Um, I think this is the first time we've said anything about the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Um, because we're just usually we don't like to talk about stuff that's happening now, but this is too funny not to talk about, and we need to do a little bit of setup here.
Yes.
So first, we need to talk about a little something you probably haven't heard of. It's called a war in Ukraine. Um,
Shocker there.
yeah, shocker there. So
What? A
I don't
war in Ukraine?
I don't really need to.
Damn.
I don't think I really need to do any background on this. But if you've literally been living in Iraq for the past,
Okay, hold on. Can I explain this?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
If you've been living under a rock the last few years, it's called Big Country Russia, Little Country Ukraine
I mean,
fight
not
each
little.
other.
They're like the it's like the second biggest country in all of Europe
Right, but like
in comparison.
comparison,
In
in
comparison,
comparison,
yeah,
they fight and they have been for like 3 years.
yeah. So it's one. You kind of
One,
stoopy,
I
yeah. It's
okay,
it's so
I
hard to tell.
don't know.
So basically,
I'm
Russia is a imperialist power who wants to take over Ukraine for reasons.
no one's really sure.
Hey, editing Zebron here. I wanted to elaborate on what we meant here. By reasons, we meant that the reasons were bad. The reasons that Putin uses is that he is uniting the peoples of the old Russian Empire and that he is bringing all of the Russian people under his care because the accusation is that the Ukrainians were oppressing the Russian descendant people in the Donbass region, which was proven false many a time. Not going to really get into that here. The other reasons that we think are the Ukraine has a lot of black soil, which is very good for farming, and it also has its location is great for blocking Russia's access to pumping oil into the rest of Europe. These are just some of the reasons. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated, but I just wanted to elaborate just a little bit.
Sure, but main
It
it's
doesn't really matter.
probably because of like their like economical use
Yeah,
with like all of their natural resources and whatnot.
probably. It doesn't really
Probably
matter
doesn't
because
that it yeah.
yeah, it's bad. Um,
Regardless of what you think, it
yeah,
is bad.
Ukraine has been holding on for and actually winning, like pushing the Russians back for a long time now, which is very good. They've gotten help from a lot of Western
Mm,
countries, and
And also, when you think about it, really surprising.
yes, most people were thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like a 3 day thing. Well, it turns out Russia is a corrupt country that doesn't really take care of its military whatsoever. So, yeah, no,
And I guess this is more of its Vietnam.
yeah, this is no, this is more like it's Yeah, well, no, because here's the thing. I would say more like it's second Afghanistan, but like here's the thing. It took us 20 years in Vietnam, and we didn't lose as
Yeah.
many people as Russia has lost in this war. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so let me let me
Don't fact check. Don't fact check us
let me
because we're gonna
let
do it
me.
ourselves.
Yeah, we're doing, guys. Usually I have notes ready for this kind of stuff because I like to have stuff in front of me because I don't like doing stuff on the fly. But this has happened yesterday, and I wanted to get something out because one, it's been a minute because of Rumbly surgery and me being gone for a week, and two, this is too funny. So we
Yes.
okay, so in the Vietnam War, which lasted uh, 19 years and 5 months, we lost 58,000 people. Now, if we go to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, I think it's some like I think at Bakhmut alone they lost 10,000 people. Russia has lost. Okay, as of I apologize. Well, that's only through. Hmm, these are outdated numbers. Why am I not getting the ones? Oh, okay. Here, including their other forces, we are dealing with somewhere in between 35,000 and 43,000 people uh, killed or wounded. No, just killed. That's just killed. Wounded, it's 223,000.
Um,
So we are dealing with a lot of people.
la-
So now the main parties here is actually not Ukraine. We're not really going to be talking about Ukraine all that much.
I don't know why we brought it up. We didn't even have to bring it up.
Well, we do since this is the reason that they're fighting. So we need to talk about a thing called PMC Wagner, private military company Wagner. It is a Nazi aligned group of mercenaries
That's
that,
right. You heard that right.
well, it,
Eh,
it's a very Nazi leaning paramilitary organization that is currently fighting in many conflicts around the world. A lot in Africa, actually, against ISIS. But the main one that they're fighting in is the war in Ukraine.
mm-hmm.
They are a private military organization, so they are being paid by the Russian state to go fight
Would
in the
have,
war,
would have thunk it.
but they don't answer to the Russian military. They cooperate with them, but they don't answer directly. So they had not they were pretty short on people. They did a lot of prison recruitment. But the main thing here is that they don't have they haven't been getting a lot of supplies from the Russian government recently.
Mm-hmm.
Their leader, Mr. Yevgeny Pirozhin. I don't care if I mispronounce his name. He's pretty much a Nazi. I don't care, but has been out and out complaining and doing these screeds against the Russian military commander Shoigu, basically saying they are not getting any supplies whatsoever and that the Russians are selling them out.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, well, here's the thing. Basically, what's going on is that the Russian army is using the Wagner group as basically just bullet sponges. Like, you send these guys in, and then we can maybe do a little bit of work in the area. The main fighting that Wagner has been doing recently is in the used to be city of Bakhmut, which they have lost so many people. I don't even know the statistics. Bakhmut. Okay, so the battle for Bakhmut, which was 10 months, by the way, it was a very long battle. So, ooh, wow, okay. The numbers I have here is 20,000 Wagner troops killed, and just Russian troops in general. So we're dealing with like pretty like World War One's levels of fighting. Like this is
Yeah.
Stalingrad type stuff. You're going building to building, fighting all the way through. Um, the Ukrainians kind of ground them out there just to get their to bring their numbers down a little bit, thin them out a little bit. Then,
Tell them the what for.
sorry, what?
Tell them the what for.
Oh yeah, just give them a little bit of a wow wow wow. Basically, what we're trying to say here is that they didn't have a great time. So after 10 months of fighting, they take the city, and they have not been getting supplies from the Russian government, as claimed by Prigozhin. Obviously, this is all basically hearsay, but we can interpret that Russia hasn't been supplying them great. Um, the main so this led to being a lot of animosity between the two parties. The other main thing that we need to talk about is how the Russian government wants the Wagner to sign military contracts so that the entity is no longer a private military organization and is directly answerable to the Russian military chain of command. The Wagner has been out and out like they will not do that because they don't want to be subject to the Russians' direct control.
Well, I don't think anybody would.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, no, me neither. Obviously, so this has meant that they were given a deadline. I don't remember when it was. It was pretty soon after, like right around now. So they were like right up against it, but they were not having it.
Just not just
So
basically telling them to go screw themselves.
basically, so as of like May 27th, the um there was this guy who was like, "Hey, basically Prigozhin might be plotting to stage a coup of the Russian government," and everybody thought he was talking crazy because you're not going to overthrow the government.
Right. The Russian, not just any
But
government.
more recently, Prigozhin's been talking about how the military defense has been selling them out and was lying to the Russian people. Like the war in Ukraine was a lie, the reasons for going there was a lie, basically trying to say, "Hey, you the Russian people were lied to."
You're right. Like, hey,
So,
guess what? You guys were lied to this entire time, and this idiot is to blame.
yeah, basically
Take it
saying
too.
because Prigozhin. So, what are the why is Prigozhin trying to do this stuff? Well, he wants to get out of Ukraine because he's losing more and more people every day the fighting goes on. So Prigozhin wants to get out, but obviously Putin can't surrender. I mean, how bad would that look for Russia? So my opinion is that Prigozhin was trying to give Putin a way out. Was trying to say like even our dear leader Vladimir Putin was lied to by the military. So if you put me in charge, Prigozhin, I will get out of Ukraine, get us out of this quagmire, and rebuild Russia.
Sounds like a certain someone.
Yeah, no, this is
Does
this.
anybody? Does anybody?
Yeah, yeah. Wait, no, no.
Have like?
Let's just 5 seconds. See if you can guess who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hitler.
Yeah. Yeah. That and Joseph. No,
Um,
Lenin.
oh, the Lenin. Um, I guess,
Lenin. When you
I
think
guess
about it,
it's,
right?
I guess in
Hey,
some
I'll
senses,
get us out of this world war situation. You just put me in charge.
that's, yeah. Actually, that's not, yeah. But what we're trying to get across here is that Prigozhin has a deep hatred of the Russian military defense ministry. Sorry.
My bad, man. Names, I swear.
So, bringing us up to what is for us yesterday. Yesterday, June 23rd, audio from Prigozhin was released saying that they were about to enter the Rostov on Don military, like it's their military center for the Donbass um, front. They were going to occupy it, and he encouraged everybody to just not shoot at him because they were not going to take prisoners. This,
That's something a dictator would say.
yeah, well, I mean, okay, this guy's crazy. He called himself like the czar. All right, this guy, there are no heroes here. All right,
No, no.
so he claims that there were rocket attacks on the Wagner group, so they move to take over this thing. They get into the city. There is video of them pointing tanks at the building. I think Shoigu might have been in the building. I don't think that's true, but this is why I like to have notes ready.
Yeah,
But
because not knowing a whole lot of info is not great for this.
yeah, we're doing this usually like when I do research on stuff. This stuff has been documented over years and years and years, and we have overwhelming evidence for the stuff. But this
A
is
lot
like
of
breaking news type stuff. So
breaking news. This has just happened.
so basically, the Russian government sends out a warrant for the arrest of um, Prigozhin, saying encouraging Wagner forces to detain him and bring him in, but obviously that didn't happen. Um, After this, there were road blockades set up on the highway heading into the capital, Moscow, and unconfirmed reports of explosive charges being set on a bridge outside of the city.
Weird. Sounds like another someone we know from history.
Yeah, no, this is like imagine. Okay,
I feel like history is just repeating itself at this point.
yeah. So we're having another Russian Revolution, except
Oh, who would have thought?
everybody's Nazis. Just everybody's a Nazi. Um, so the Wagner actually start making their way towards Moscow. They don't see a lot of like uh, fighting. Most people either just joined him or just didn't fight him because like why? What?
What's the point?
Yeah, you're fighting people who are supposed to be on your side. So Wagner troops start running. They start getting out. I think they got within like 200 kilometers of the city. But what happens is that big old Putin makes an address. Now, my assumption was that Putin was going to stay quiet on this and let it play out. Like, he was going to see if Prigozhin actually did this, and then he was going to be like, oh, take his side, and if the military won, take their side. But he came out with a statement and said that Wagner had committed treason and that he was going to take harsh steps to quell this rebellion.
Yeah.
So he basically is like, they are traitors and they are going to be shot. So there, as far as I know, there wasn't a lot of fighting, and Prigozhin said that he won't respect what Putin said and was going to try and do this. And that's where
Well,
we were until like that was where we left off last night. I woke up this morning and I did some more research because I needed to know. As it turns out, the Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko, which is a dictator,
as we all know.
talked to Prigozhin on behalf of Putin to broker an agreement between the Wagner fighters and the actual military. What we know was promised was that they would drop all charges on them, and that they would be able to return safely to camps, basically.
Yeah. We all know
This,
how that's gonna go.
yeah. So basically, now what's happening is that Prigozhin and the Wagner group are out of Rostov Don and they have made it back into where I assume they went back to Ukraine. We don't really know, but we assume.
We can make assumptions.
Yeah. So so what happens is that now Wagner fighters won't face any prosecution from the government on parts of treason, and um any sold because they're still wanting to get Wagner under the military's umbrella. So anyone who didn't commit in the rebellion can sign contracts with the with the Ministry of Defense. We don't know if Wagner is going to be in the military anymore, like if they're going to still be fighting with the Russians, because
Yeah.
I mean, but so that's kind of what's been going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I can't really make heads or tails of it at the moment, outside of what I know. But we need to talk about what this means for the war itself, because the war for Russia has not been going good.
No.
The the Wagner fighters have been the most motivated and I don't know whether to say competent or just successful, but they have been some of the most successful divisions in the Russian military at the moment. So to have them turn on the regular Russian army and to have them
I ain't gonna. It's not gonna be good for the Russians.
no, morale is going to be more in the toilet than ever. And I assume Ukraine has been watching this with like glazed over eyes, like this is wonderful.
This is freaking fantastic.
Because the Ukrainians have been doing their counteroffensive, which has been going great, but we knew this was going to be a slog to do. But
Mhm.
this could open a new chapter because if Wagner stops fighting, because I don't think Prigozhin's going to want to go back in,
Well, right.
and I don't think Putin's going to want him under the Russian umbrella anymore. I think
Yeah.
this could bring a faster end to the war. Obviously, this is just me assuming, but given the already dire situation for the rest of Russia, this could bring a faster conclusion to the war.
Yeah.
I hope that Ukraine can take advantage of this by strong arming Russia into getting off their land or by just completely stomping them militarily, but obviously this is still all up in the air. It's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen because of this. I can't see Wagner fighting under the Russians again.
Yeah. Probably not. Not after that.
No. And I just because actually some Russian soldiers defected to the Wagner group's cause because they thought, oh, we're gonna march into Moscow, we're gonna overthrow the government. But now that's kind of died out.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, really, what's going to happen here, but it does kind of harken back. Obviously, this isn't one-to-one situations because nothing ever is. But we can kind of pull on history and look at like um the Russian
See some a
Revolution.
lot of similarities.
Yeah, harken back to the Russian Revolution. Like what caused it then? Well, it was lack of supplies for World War One soldiers and the harsh conditions of war, which is not dissimilar to what's going on now.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're gonna see like an overthrow of the government because it's kind of already over.
Happening.
It's over already.
Yeah.
But this could open doors for people who may see like a popular uprising. Like people who may were trying to feel out the waters to see would it be worth doing a revolution. But other than that, there's not much else to say on it other than this is very good.
Well,
This is very funny.
yes, very funny, very good for Ukraine in particular.
Yes, this is. Let us be clear. There are no good guys on this, like between the fighting between the Russian military defense and the Wagner Group. The Wagner Group are basically Nazis, and the Russians have been invading Ukraine for over a year now. So, however the coin flips, and however this ends, Ukraine is better for it.
Right? Like it doesn't matter how this happens. Ukraine will be better off it happening than it not happening.
Yes, it just it's another nail in the coffin for Russia because imagine trying to convince more soldiers to join. Oh yeah, you go fight. Don't worry about what
Go
happened.
fight a war that is unwinnable at this point.
Yeah, it's outside of nuclear bombardment. I don't think Russia has a chance at winning this war. Maybe they have a chance at like grinding the Ukrainians out and formally getting Crimea signed over to them. But outside of that, I don't see them getting anything out of this war.
Probably not.
It is remarkably funny and great that all of this has happened.
Yeah.
And you know what, Prigozhin, try it again. Go at it again.
Try it again. I dare you.
Do the
I
funny.
triple down dare you.
Do the funny.
Do the funny. Do what no one could to Russia.
Yeah, no, but that is about all I have to say on the matter. I apologize for you having to hear my voice so much since this is kind of not a thing where we can banter about it because it's still all new information to us.
Exactly.
It's
Lot of similarities though.
I
Let's count them out. Hitler, Lenin, Napoleon.
Yeah, there are hundreds of conclusions to be drawn, and I implore you to look into this on your own because information is going to change very quickly. We are recording this on the 24th, meaning this happened yesterday into today. So
Yeah.
information is going to change very quickly, and by the time I upload this, which I don't know when that's going to be, probably tomorrow or the day after, all of this could be just
Okay.
worthless.
Yeah. Or we'll keep you posted in like
Yeah,
a YouTube short or something. Because
yeah.
that's something we haven't done.
We Oh my god, yeah. It's been on
Like
my
short little history
it's
YouTube shorts.
it's been on my list to cut clips out of podcast episodes to post in shorts to maybe get some more attention driven towards them because I like when you guys watch these.
Yeah, because we love ranting about this stuff. I
Yeah,
mean like a little too much,
I
which is
mean
good. But
we
also
yeah,
we're just nerds. All right, we're just nerds
we're
talking
just
about history.
we like talking about history and now we're doing like world events,
Yeah, I mean,
which
like we can expand this into so much because history will always be a part of like
yeah,
humanity.
here's the
Like no matter like how you look at it, it's gonna be here. So we have infinite content,
Here's the thing.
literally.
I like studying history, but living through it. I mean, come on, man. This sucks.
Give us some, give us a break.
Dude, we so there was
But if we had a break and everyone got along, then everybody would keep fighting anyway.
okay. There was this Lenin quote that I really liked. I indulge me for a moment. There are decades where weeks happen and weeks where decades happen. We are in a decade where centuries happen.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. This is too funny. I don't
Too
really.
funny, also a little bit too real, but too funny.
Yeah, because obviously there are still people dying. But in this
Right.
one thing, nobody who like it's either Wagner people dying or Russian troops dying. Which here's the thing: most Russian troops are just probably conscripts who need to feed their family or were legally required to do it. But here's the thing: I don't. They're still invading Ukraine. I don't.
Oh, listen. Did you hear about the Ukrainian thing where if Russian soldiers surrender, they get full Ukrainian
Oh
citizenship and
yeah,
can
no,
join their military?
yeah, no. It's like if you're a Russian soldier, and if you're somehow listening to this, which you won't, because
You're fighting right now, and I'd be really weirded out if you had your phone right now.
actually, if you're a Russian soldier, you won't be. But if you are,
But if you are,
let us know. There was a video of a Russian soldier. Sorry, my voice is giving out on me. Work was long today. The there was a video of him signaling to a Ukrainian drone that he wanted to surrender. So another drone comes by, drops him a pamphlet explaining to him how to surrender. So he runs across no man's land, getting shot at by his buddies, makes it over to
mm-hmm.
the Ukrainian side, surrenders, and there's video of him living. And my assumption is now he is living his
He is
life.
living his life, or he's with the Ukrainian military. Who knows?
Yeah, he is more free than he has been in a very long time. I feel bad for Russians who have lost family
Russian
members.
soldiers,
Yeah, I feel bad for.
in particular, because they're the ones dying
Yeah, I mean,
for
obviously,
nothing.
the Ukrainians are rightful to kill them, but it's still.
It's like if one of
It's.
them surrenders, let
Yeah.
him. Like,
Yeah, no,
let him
they.
come peacefully.
Yeah. I feel bad for
Like,
the.
there's no point at that point to just like slaughter a bunch of people that want to peacefully surrender because of like their overruler slash
I'm
dictator
pretty sure
slash
that's a war
president.
crime. I'm pretty sure that's a war crime, actually.
Pretty sure it is, but at the same time,
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, emotions are high in war and things happen where a guy's trying to surrender and you shoot him. I mean, it's horrible that it happens, but it does, and you're kidding yourself if you don't think it happens. Um,
it happens a lot more than you think.
it's I feel bad for the Ukrainian people who have lost their home and their country and lost people. And I also feel bad for the Russian families who have lost sons and fathers and they've lost everything. I mean, Russia is barely a country at this point. It's lost.
It's sad, but
Yeah,
like you have a power hungry dictator slash president, and that's what you get.
yeah. The I hope that at some point Putin ends up falling out of a four-story window. But until then, I don't think this is going to end soon.
And it's not this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
We haven't even
Hopefully,
scratched the surface of what will happen.
hopefully it's the beginning of the end of the Ukrainian war and the my assumption is that the stability inside of Russia is going to uh, get a lot worse and that the war in
And
Ukraine is going to start probably dying down. Hope obviously we could be wrong and this could just be the start of another uptick in the war, but assumptions.
yeah, assumptions.
But yeah, that's all I really have to say on the matter.
I
Uh
got nothing.
yeah, we're kind of doing like an emergency episode. I was I started writing the what would have been the 10th episode on Fidel Castro, but
This makes for a good 10th episode.
yeah,
Emergency in real life update,
yeah, obviously we're going to
which couldn't
information's
be any more perfectly timed.
yeah, and it's just funny. The fact that it's
It's just
funny.
funny. The fact that it's funny and it happened when you were writing the 10th episode.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I got nothing. So if you're done,
Well, I had another idea for a little bit we could do here at the end to kind of ease the tensions of everything, because we said we would do it this time, but we can do it next time if you want. I was saying we could rate the Minecraft woods again.
Ah, I see. We can do that next time.
You want to do that next time? Yeah, okay.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're both a bit.
God.
Yeah, I had to work today. So,
Same. It kind of kicked my a-hole, but it's
yeah,
fine.
but yeah, that's all.
That's
Oh,
all I got.
yep. I think that's all we have. Good luck to Ukraine in its ever into its struggle against Russia, and yeah, hopefully Putin falls out of a
Alright.
window.
Or unexpectedly dies one day.
Yeah, unexpectedly dies with lead poisoning, high velocity.
Yeah, weird. Anyway,
Anyways, we'll see you in the next episode. It'll probably be a regular one unless something even funnier happens. See you in the
yep.
next one.
Bye.
Bye. So, you know what I said that things were going to change? Yeah, I'm editing barely an hour after we finish recording, and Prigozhin has accepted a deal that Lukashenko made, and as part of that deal, he will be moving to Belarus. I don't really know if he's going to keep command of the Wagner group or what's going to happen to the Wagner yet, but he's going to Belarus, and I'll probably make community post or we'll mention in the next podcast episode what happens after this, but that's what we know so far. That's kind of the new update that I wanted to make here because I know about it right before I was finished editing.